Right. Similar thing to what other speakers have said. The opinions expressed here are definitely my own. So there's a couple things I'm going to be talking about that are not official CAP policy. So just to let everyone know a little bit about the Clean Air Partnership. It's a partnership between 28 Greater Toronto and Hamilton area municipalities. And essentially what we do is we bring municipal staff together into one room and we talk about ways that we can make our region more sustainable. We try and prevent every single staff from having to reinvent the wheel every time they want to do something. So we try and share our learning and make it so that the region is moving forward together. So getting around by bike, a regional perspective. So I just want to ask you guys a few questions. Who in here owns a vehicle? Okay. Who's taking their bike on public transit? That's great, eh? And who uses a bike as your primary mode of transportation? Okay. Now, who considers themselves a confident rider? Okay, this is the important thing. Everyone who just raised their hand is in the minority. Every single person that raised their hand is somewhere over here. So this is where cyclists are on the continuum, guys. There's the strong and fearless. So this is less than 1% of the population. These people are going to go out and they're going to ride their bike in any conditions. You know, throw caution to the wind, the hell with everyone else. They're out there, they want to be treated as an equal on the road, and they feel like they are confident, they're skilled enough, they're going to go out there. There's the enthused and confident. So that's the people that raise, probably most of the people that raise their hands. They're ready to go out there. I mean, you know, they're not going to go riding down the 403, but, you know, they're going to go on pretty much every single traffic space. The vast majority of the population is in the interested but concerned. So this is 60% of the population. These are people that want to get on their bikes, but they're a little bit concerned about the dangers of riding their bike alongside 4,000-pound chunks of metal that are going 5 times as fast as them. Then, of course, there's the 33%, the no way, no how. They're not going to get out of their cars. They're not going to get on a bike. You know what I say about those people? Ignore them. Those are the people that come out to the public consultations and say, we don't want bike lanes, because they want to stay in their cars and they want everything to be as much built for cars as possible. Ignore them. Those are my opinions, by the way. So, I just want to talk a little bit about using the right tool for the job. Now, this is a picture of my absolute favorite kitchen tool. This is my Murata Santoku. I got it from Japan. I love it. I use it every day. I use it for everything, from chopping onions to cutting chicken. I use it for everything. This is my KitchenAid food processor. When I'm making salsa, when I'm making soups, when I'm making huge vats of things, this comes out. Why does it not come out very often? Because it's a pain in the ass to clean it. So it doesn't come out very often. Now, the way I like to compare these two are to my bike and my car. My bike comes out all the time when I'm going to the grocery store, when I'm going to see a movie, when I'm going down to campus, when I want to go for coffee. It comes out all the time. When I need to go to the airport to pick up my father like I did today, when I'm going camping, I take my car. It's using the right tool for the job. We need to accept the fact that we built our cities for cars, but we don't have to rely on them. So it's all about using the right tool for the job. I'm not going to take my car down to Fortino's, which is 4 kilometers from my house, if I need to go pick up a jug of milk. That's just wasteful, right? I'm going to take my Peugeot. It's going to give no emissions, cost me no money, and well, there's bike lanes the whole way too, which makes it nice. So, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing well around here. So I have written a little bit of background about myself. I lived in Toronto for 4 years. I moved to Hamilton about 1.5 years ago, and I've been riding around quite a bit since then. So I actually did a ride that is posted on my blog. I rode all the way from Square One in Mississauga all the way back home to Hamilton. So it was quite an interesting ride, and the fun thing was it took me through 4 different Greater Toronto Hamilton area municipalities. It took me through Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, and then of course into Hamilton. So I got to see the different ways that the municipalities are handling the cycling challenge, really, is what it is. So here's what we're doing well.
How did you do that? Highway 5?
Actually, it was a pretty convoluted route. I came over, it was over and down and over. And I took the Centennial Bikeway, which was actually my favorite part of the whole trip. Because why was it my favorite? Because I was separated from cars, because it's nicely tree lined. It's exactly like he was talking about. There's shelter. It was nice, and I didn't feel threatened by vehicles at all. Actually, I didn't feel threatened a lot on the trip. But anywho, so what we're doing well in our region, the waterfront in Hamilton and Burlington is absolutely great. Maybe not on Lakeshore. I didn't take Lakeshore because for that specific reason. But the waterfront trail is really nice. There's a lot of ways to get east-west, including the Centennial Bikeway. And to be perfectly honest with you, the western region of the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area is building bike lanes and cycling infrastructure at, on average, a lot faster pace than the municipalities, to the center of Toronto and also east of them. Of course, I left Toronto right before they stopped building bike lanes and started tearing them out, so I was pretty happy about that. We have lots of nice infrastructure in our region. This is the King William Street in Hamilton. So this is actually, amazingly, I thought it was an artist's rendition. So you see nice separation for the pedestrian, a nice bike lane separated from traffic. So just great infrastructure. This is the Fairview Highway 403 exchange. This is one of my favorite projects in the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area because this is somewhere that you can actually get past a highway, a 400 series highway, without having it kind of go into fend for yourself mode. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. What's wrong with this picture? Let's talk about some of the things we're not doing so well. What's wrong with this picture here, folks? Can anyone see this? This is Shero there. And yet, the family is choosing to ride on the sidewalk. We aren't designing our streets to be safe for everyone, guys. If we were doing it right, the family would be safe on the road or on the cycling infrastructure that's there designed for them. And I understand, they're little kids, but we gotta try and we gotta do better. So, the one thing that I do want to talk about, the elephant in the room, is the QE, the Highway 403, and all 400 series highways. We're getting really good at moving cyclists east-west throughout our region. We're getting very good at it. What we're not so good at is getting people north-south. And the main reason for this is the MTO bridge design guidelines. So it's kind of municipal gobbledygook, but MTO, I'm sure you can talk more about this, Dan, than I could, but the MTO has basically one design guideline for bridges, and despite them saying they want to improve cycling throughout the province, those design guidelines do not include cycling infrastructure. They are fixed, and you have car lanes, and that's it. So getting over the 400 series highways, under the 400 series highways, you need to do a pilot project, and it is prone to get ripped out, even though the interchange at the 403 is amazing. If the MTO decides that it's not performing as well as it so I just want to kind of wrap up quick. Cycling across the Hamilton and Halton region, which is kind of the area that I'm most familiar with now, there's some great connections between some great communities. It's a little bit of a pain to go down Burl Oak to hit Burlington's section of the Lakeshore, but you can take the Centennial Bikeway from Grant Street all the way to Burl Oak, head down, go over on the Lakeshore into Burlington, be in their downtown, in not too long, and it's really great. And there's as Councillor Dennison said, there's a real opportunity here to cash in on this tourism boom that's going on in the cycling world and has been going on for a long time. This area, this region in particular, Burlington and Hamilton and Oakville are positioned so well in the region to take advantage of people wanting to go to Toronto for cycle tourism, to go down to Niagara for cycle tourism, to go to Lake Erie for cycle tourism. We're positioned perfectly. And in order to do that, we need to start creating hubs where people feel comfortable cycling, and that includes the downtowns especially. As municipalities build their cycling network, it's going to be a lot more important to talk to the Ministry of Transportation about bridge design so that we can start actually completing the network. It's heartbreaking to me to see all this great infrastructure going east-west and no way to access it. When I rode from Mississauga to Hamilton, the only time I rode on the sidewalk was when I had to cross the 403. because there was no way in hell that I was going to ride on Winston Churchill Boulevard Bridge with cars, trucks, and everything else going by me at 80 kilometers an hour with no room for me to ride on the shoulder. None. I was not going to do it. And I'm one of those people that I consider myself pretty much fearless, but not a chance that there's just cars and a concrete barrier. No way. So I chose the sidewalk. So we need to make that better. That's the simple point. The bridges need to be better. We need to be able to get across those highways. Take home points. Things are getting, despite the fact that we built our cities for cars, things are getting better for cyclists in Hamilton and Halton all the time. We're continually improving our cycling infrastructure, which is fantastic. Every bus in this region has bike racks on the front. Every single one. It's awesome. How great is that? I can go from Hamilton all the way to Oshawa with my bike if I wanted to go to Oshawa for some strange reason. But I can take my bike all the way out there and never have to worry about it. So it's great. But all this stuff we keep doing is all for naught if we don't complete the network. Because if we don't complete the network, we don't reach that 60%. Those people that want to do it, but they're concerned about it. We gotta do better for them. That's it. Thanks very much, guys.